Today's episode of Off the Timeline is titled, What If Tennessee Learned It Didn't Need the SEC? Let me start by saying this clearly because without this, none of this can really be established. This is not a story about the SEC collapsing. It's not about Tennessee getting desperate, and it's definitely not about the Big Ten raiding the South. This is the story about something much quieter. What happens when a program realizes it has options and asks questions it was never supposed to ask? If you think SEC teams will never leave, good. That assumption is exactly built into the framework of this scenario. Before we touch realignment, we need a few ground rules. One, Tennessee never leaves after a bad season, they leave strong. Two, no conference forces anyone out. Every move is contractual, slow, and boring on paper. Three, this isn't about money alone, it's about control. If any of these three break, this alternate universe collapses on itself, so we're not breaking any of these. And that sets the table for the higher that changes the questions. This what if scenario has a divergence point in 2012, where Tennessee doesn't hire a savior, they hire Mike Gundy. Not because he's flashy, but because he's known for something dangerous in college football. He asks why. From day one, Gundy's contract negotiations focused less on salary and more on structure. Things like scheduling autonomy, media transparency, brand positioning inside conference systems. Nothing that's rebellious, just uncomfortable. At SEC meetings that spring, Tennessee quietly asks, how are legacy brands protected if expansion ever changes distribution tiers? There's no answer, only deflection. And that's the moment Tennessee realizes something important. The SEC is incredibly powerful, but it is not built to explain itself. And that sets the table for the on field proofs in the 2012 to 2014 window. This part matters more than anything else. In this alternate universe, in 2012, Tennessee goes 8-5 and wins a bowl. 2013, they go 9-4 with a top 15 finish. 2014, 10-3 and a top 10 finish. Tennessee doesn't spike, they stabilize. That stability does something subtle. It removes urgency. They're not asking questions to survive. They're asking questions because they can afford to. And that sets the table for the SEC concession that backfires. In 2013, the SEC thinks it's fixing a problem. They quietly grant Tennessee a one-time scheduling flexibility allowance, two national non-conference showcase games over a 4-year window. The SEC believes this ends the conversation. Instead, it proves a different point. The system can bend. That concession doesn't make Tennessee feel valued, it makes them feel heard. And once that happens, you don't unhear the silence elsewhere. And that sets the table to even more on field proof from 2015 to 2017. In 2015, they go 11-2 at the New Year's Six Bowl. 2016, 10-3 in an SEC title game appearance. 2017, another 10-3 season with a top 8 finish. By now, Tennessee's floor is higher than most program ceilings, and crucially, nothing about their success is SEC specific. That's the seed. And that sets the table for the Big Ten never calling Tennessee. Here's where skeptics would usually check out, so pay attention. The Big Ten never calls Tennessee's athletic director, never courts them publicly, never leaks interest. Instead, in 2017, Tennessee's media consultants received independent valuation modeling. One line stands out. You would not be placed in a permanent equal revenue box. No offer, no pitch, just a reminder that different structures exist. The Big Ten doesn't recruit Tennessee, Tennessee recruits the idea. And that sets the table for even more on field proof from 2018 to 2022. In 2018, they go 11-2, 10-3 in 2019, 9-3 in 2020, 2021 sees them going 11-2 with a top five finish, and 2022 10-3 and just outside the college football playoff. This is the most important stretch in this entire parallel universe because Tennessee proves something terrifying. They can win without urgency. That's when conference membership stops feeling permanent. And that sets the table for 2023, the sentence that can't be unsent. In 2023, Tennessee submits a quiet notice to the SEC. The University of Tennessee is conducting a long-term conference affiliation review aligned with institutional objectives. No posturing, no deadlines, just documentation. The SEC treats it as a posture they shouldn't have because now Tennessee is no longer assuming permanence. And that sets the table to the 2023 to 2027 on-field results. In 2023, they go 10-3 again New Year's Six Bowl. 2024, 11-2 with a semifinal run in the college football playoff. 2025, another college football playoff berth, going 10-3 and making the quarterfinals. They go 11-2 in 2026, 9-4 in 2027. No collapse, no punishment. By the time Tennessee votes to exit in 2028, the move feels procedural, and that's the point. And that sets the table for our closing window. In this alternate universe, Tennessee doesn't leave the SEC because it failed. They leave because they succeeded long enough to realize something. Conference loyalty only works when no one believes they can leave. In this universe, Florida doesn't follow because Tennessee told them to. They follow because Tennessee proved the floor holds. And that's the uncomfortable truth of modern college football. The sport didn't change when teams started leaving. It changed when teams realized they could leave without being punished. If you think this is impossible, I want to hear why. If you think it's uncomfortable, you're probably closer. Like the video, comment where you think this breaks, and subscribe, because the next universe will ask even more uncomfortable questions.